Hi, I'm glad you're watching this video. It will clear up something very important, especially if you're one of my students. If you've been relying on English spelling to help you understand how words should sound, congratulations, you've been fooled. English has been lying to you. It is very confusing. English spelling is kind of like an old GPS from the early 2000s. It might get you where you're trying to go, but it often leads you into the middle of a field or a middle of a lake and tells you you've arrived. English spelling is full of confusions and is very misleading. Just think about it. Thumb. Thumb. Where did the B go? Half. Calf. There's no L sound in those words, but take a look at self and shelf, and you absolutely do hear an L sound. Then we have words like chef and chess. Same letters at the beginning, but they have different sounds. Is ends with a Z, even though it's spelled with an S. Of, not off. This is the word of. It ends with a V sound, even though it's spelled with an F. Remember when we talked about the two different TH sounds? Think and this. The TH in think is not at all the same as the TH in this, but they are spelled exactly the same way. Then you've got for, and for. 3 different spellings, 1 pronunciation. And we can't leave out to. 3 different meanings. I absolutely promise you they each have the exact same pronunciation. To. I'm going to the store. Would you like to come too? Let's go at 2 o'clock. So again, lots of little confusing issues in American English spelling that make it very difficult to rely on for pronunciation mastery. And that's why this matters. Most people, when they look at a printed word, their brain automatically starts making associations. In clinical and education circles, this is referred to as orthographic processing. Your brain recognizes the spelling, remembers what the word means, and tells your mouth, here it comes, and this is what you do with it. But the mouth and the voice tend to use speech habits that have been cemented in place for years. They don't ask questions. They don't get updates automatically installed. They just keep running the same program. That's why simply reading English out loud rarely changes the way you pronounce it. Reading is largely automatic, but speaking with intention is not. And here's another little knowledge nugget. The part of your brain that's really good at recognizing printed words is not at all the same system that's responsible for controlling the precise movements of your lips, tongue, jaw, and vocal cords during speech. They are very different jobs. Once you start noticing and controlling specific things that your tongue does during speech, things that your vocal cords do, things that your lips do, your pronunciation becomes much easier to control and much easier to change. Have you ever seen an expert musician dazzle an audience with their instrument and their talent? Nobody became a better guitarist by learning how songs are spelled. Guitarists and pianists improve by training their fingers. Speech works much the same way. And along the way, you'll also learn that speech sounds belong to families. Some sounds are made in the same place, but differ because the voice is on or off. Some use your lips, some use your tongue, some let air flow freely. Others stop the airflow completely before releasing it. And once you understand these relationships, pronunciation stops feeling like endless hundreds of random rules and becomes a very simple system that makes a lot of sense. In the next lesson, I'll introduce the major types of American English speech sounds and show you how understanding this small group of sounds, list of sounds, gives you much more control over the way you speak. Because students in my programs will work for weeks without using any printed text. Once you stop letting spelling run the show, your mouth finally gets a chance to learn what American English actually sounds like. It's not about what it looks like.